Hey guys, welcome to the Advent of Cyber 2025 video. This is the first video, and we are starting the series of AOC. In the tryhackme, if you open tryhackme, then you will be able to see AOC, which seems to be the Advent of Cyber 2025 in the front page. You can see AOC here. I'm just clicking that, and in this video, we are going to warm up and we are going to start the series with the Advent of Cyber preparation track, and this is how it looks like. And in terms of Advent of Cyber, you do get prizes. There is a chance of getting prizes. Some of the users will get swag vouchers, some of them get iPhone, Mac, etc. There's a lot of prizes here, and not everyone will get, but only the lucky ones. And there you will be able to see some of the rules here, and all the winners will be randomly chosen and verified by our team, and no cheating is allowed, and contacted by Thursday 8 January 2026. And you can just pretty much join there. So yeah, you can just qualify and you can just read the descriptions, and you also get a certificate after completion of 24 cybersecurity challenges. And you do have featured videos for each room how you can complete those, and supporting walkthroughs will be available. But I'm going to create a walkthrough of Advent of Cyber 2025 from today onwards, and this is how the preparation tracks looks like. In this preparation a track you will be able to see, and they will going to release new task every 4 p.m. GMT, which seems to be 9:30 p.m. In IST. So let's convert this into IST. If you are in India, then you can just convert that, and it's basically 9:30 p.m. IST. And you can see it will be starting from 1st of December, and it's aiming for the beginners. And if you are a beginner, then this seems to be must watch for you. tryhackme, if the attack box options are tryhackme, attack box is an Ubuntu virtual machine, and all those description about the tryhackme attack box is there. And Linux CLI shell bells AOZ 2025 is the first room that they're going to give to us, and where you'll learn about the basic Linux comments. And yeah, you'll be able to see a lot of options regarding that. But now we are just checking that we are just going to complete this path as a beginning. And you can see you do get some representations like the t-shirts here. Grab your swag Advent of Cyber, and you can just order that if you want. It's 908 rupees, and yeah, I'm not going to buy that. You can just buy if you want, but I don't know about it, how good it is or not. So I'm just going back, and let's start with the preparation track, and there will be a story here. You can just read that story and understand okay, so by yourself. And let's start from the challenge one itself. And in the challenge one, they're saying about password pandemonium, and it's about as you log into your new TBFC workstation, an alert pops up, weak passwords detected on this account. So even MC Skiddy's password, this seems to be the password of Skiddy, has been flagged. Before gaining full access, you'll need to prove your password prowess. So strong passwords are one of the simplest yet most effective defenses against cyber attacks. So objective is to create a password that passes all system checks and isn't found in the leaked password list. So we just need to create a password that's strong, right? So you do have an option to click here for viewing the site. I'm just reducing the size, and it's signing in. And you can see weak password was detected. MC Skiddy's old credentials are among them, and we just need to update our password. You can just pretty much include condense the with the strong password, include numbers, characters, and all those things, and you will be able to complete that. Yeah, I just included a lot of numbers, a lot of characters, and clicking submit, then that's it. This is how you basically create a strong password. Nothing to think more about it. Let's move on with the next challenge. Okay, in the next challenge, you are going to learn about the suspicious process, a chocolate.exe, an executable file, a suspicious executable file. Determine if chocolate.exe is safe or infected is what our aim is. and you can just click the scan button and review the scan report. 49 clean results, one malicious will be what is shown here, and decide correctly whether the file is safe or dangerous. So let's click the view site option to see how it looks like. It's basically the demonstration of the virus total website. Have you ever used the virus total website? It's a great website that you can check for URL, IP address, files for malwares by using this website. This seems to be pretty good. If you doesn't use that before, then you have to use it. You have to test some of the viruses or some of the websites or some of the URLs that you seems to be suspicious in this website, so that you'll be able to understand if it is malicious or not in this website. So I'm not gonna show all of that as of now, but I'm just going to complete this room. And here they are just basically uploading the chocolate.exe file in this view site option. It's basically an executable file we just uploaded into the virus total. That's how it is demonstrated, and you can see. And the virus total is saying that the virus total basically scans from more vendors, more antivirus softwares. So here from this for this demonstration, they are one of the malware labs has reported this as a Trojan virus, and some of the other vendors reported this as clean. There is no malware in this chocolate.exe file, but one antivirus detected this as malicious. This is a Trojan is detected, and our conclusion is it safe or not. So if a single antivirus reported that as malicious, then it is malicious. So that's what it means, right? So 49 antivirus software is reported as clean and one detected as malicious. That means it is not safe and it is malicious. So that's how you can just solve this lab. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so let's solve this, and we are moving to the challenge 3, where we are going to welcome the attack box is what the name of the challenge 3. So I'm just refreshing here. Okay, so we are now into the welcome to attack box, where you will be able to use some of the commands, basic Linux commands, attack box commands. Inside the attack box, you can use commands like ls to list the files, cd challenges to change the directories, cat welcome.txt to view the welcome.txt file. So here we are moving into the attack box, and these are the steps that we have. So this is basically a command line. How you can use the command line is what they are represented. I'm just entering ls minus l to list with privileges, and there is nothing. Like, this is just a demo which basically doesn't shows like a real Linux command line interface. So here this challenges is basically a tab, and some other commands will not work. Challenges is basically what I say, it's basically a directory. So here I'm just entering moving to challenges and listing that. We have welcome.txt. I'm just getting welcome.txt. So yeah, this is how you basically use the command line interface, is what this demonstration would be. So if you are too beginner, doesn't know how to use Linux commands, and this is something that you need to know. Like, this is how you basically interact with the command line interface. This is some of the basic command line interface commands like ls, cd, and cat. Ls is to list files, and cd is to change the directory, and cat is to view a file. And we are moving to challenge 4. We have the command conundrum. So yeah, we here we do have some of the commands like dir slash a type. So these are some of the commands that is supported in the Windows command prompt. So we am just clicking the view side. This is Windows command prompt, which doesn't support commands like ls, which will be only available in Linux, but you can just pretty much enter dir to list the files like that we use it in ls in Linux. Here we have to use dir for listing that. You can use dir slash a to view hidden files in the Windows systems, and this is how you basically view the hidden files. And I was able to find readme.txt only here, and let us as you can see, we have mystery data here, which is a directory. So what we can do is to change the directory to mystery data. And here it is, we are now in say the mystery data directory. When I enter dir, I have the nodes.txt. I can use the tape command to view the node.txt. So this is something written here. Some logs for wiped hidden artifacts may still remain. So we can just view the hidden files by entering dir/a, and there is a hidden flag.txt here. I can just put the tape command and entering hidden underscore flag.txt to view the hidden flag. And here it is. This is our flag. So this is how you basically view that. And this is how you basically interact with the cmd command prompt in Windows. These are some of the basic commands. Okay, and we are moving to the challenge 5, which is Linux lore. And here also we were able to view hidden files in Linux by using the -la. Or you can see, you can just pretty much view the hidden file in Linux, usually preceded with dot symbol. And here we are just viewing the Linux hidden file, like ls will list the file. And here we are moving to home and mcskitty. And here we have readme.txt. We can just pretty much readme cat the readme.txt. And delivery drones are glitching. Check hidden files for clues is what is written there. So let's list the hidden files by entering ls-la. And in Linux files, the hidden files will be in Linux systems. The hidden files will be preceded with the dot. So we have the file called dot secret message, and we were able to view that. And this is how it looks like. And we are moving to challenge 6. And this is about the leak in the list. And have I been found is what's written here, which will basically shows if your email or data is compromised. And we do have an email account here, email address here, to check whether this is leaked, this is been breached or not in this view site. So we can just enter our email to check if it is found. And you can see it's been in the data breach. And this is a domain, and it's compromised on this particular date, and this is what it is showing. And we got the flag. And this is basically how you use the have I been pawned website. If you don't use that in real life, you can just pretty much go into a new tab and search for have I been pawned. And this is a website which will check if your email is compromised in a data breach or not. You can just check your email if it is compromised. You can also check the strength of the password if it is leaked in a database or not. Okay, so let's move on to the challenge 7, which we will be able to discover about Wi-Fi roles in Vervele. So we have a login page maybe with username and admin. Username and password seems to be admin, and we just need to go to security settings and set a new strong password that passes the validation. So we do have the website option, and the username and password as they're demonstrated as admin. So I'm just clicking, I'm just entering the password and username as admin. And I'm just clicking there. So this seems to be the challenge that we faced previously. Like we just need to use some strong passwords. I don't know. So let me give the password that is here. So I'm just saving that. So basically we just need to use some of the credentials to make the password strong, like adding special characters, adding capital letter and small letters, and making the characters up to a certain number. And we are now in the challenge 8, which is an app trap. And here you can see review the list of connected apps, look for one with unusual permission like password vault access, click revoke access. So we can see we have a home which contains weather, and this seems to be the app trap. So doesn't weather app needs a location permission? Yes. It needs a network access? Yes. It needs notification? Yes. Whether needed that gift tracker. So does a gift tracker application needs a contacts permission? I don't think it's necessary. Does it need storage permission? I don't think it's necessary. I'm just moving back. And Eastmas scheduler needs maybe needed by calendar, and a scheduler doesn't need a password vault, right? So this is how you solve this lab. So you have to very careful about giving permission to applications that you are going to use in your smartphone, right? And we do have a chatbot confession, not only smartphone but also everywhere, right? So here you can see read each lane of the conversation, select ones containing private data, submit your findings. So this is a chatbot confession, like the AI era is here. So you don't have to tell your personal details, personal password, something like that in the chat box. And this is something called a festive bot. Absolutely, here's a friendly message celebrating achievements and wishing a happy holiday season. There is nothing suspicious in that particular message. Reminder: staging admin leaves at this particular domain name, and we do have a URL for content approvals. And this seems to be not much of sensitive data, but this seems to be an kind of admin leaves like an admin page. So I think this seems to be need to select. So if you need the gift budget spreadsheet, check the shared drive like I mentioned earlier. So email credentials as requester, user, festi.ops and password. This seems to be really a credentials. We should avoid sharing personal details, always keep things, and there is nothing. Service token, we do have service tokens for the email API usage sparingly. And here's a sign of wishing you warm joy and secure year. So basically, these I'm just clicking submit and that's done. This is how you basically solve this lab. And we are moving to the challenge 10 here. This is the last challenge. This is Bunny's browser trial, and we have the steps: read the provided web log entries, compare them to common browsers, identify and select the suspicious entry. So I'm just clicking the website, and here you can see 200 success code, and you get to dashboard. Basically they are moving to a dashboard page in the browser, and they are moving to assets logo.svg. There is nothing suspicious in these two entries. Moving to API login, there is nothing suspicious. And reports directory, there is nothing suspicious. Admin panel. So why a user needs to move to the admin panel, it seems to be suspicious, and it's basically Bunny OS. So all of these demonstrated here is in Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, but here you can see it's Bunny OS, Hopsec board, and they are moving to the admin panel. So as checking for the user agents, this is Mozilla, and here you can see one of them is something we call as old one, and you can see it's moving to admin panel, and it's Bunny OS. It's not just normal browser that we use in our computer, right? So yeah, that seems to be suspicious. I'm just clicking submit, and that's how you basically solve this lab by thinking. So yeah, that's the beginning of the advent of cyber, and we just completed that. And this is how you pretty much solve this lab. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you'll be with me in during this entire cyber advent of cyber rooms. Thank you. I will see you in the next one.